If you don't know who Sam Sulek is, he's a 21-year-old bodybuilder that's become super duper popular on social media all of a sudden. Now, when this happens, when people suddenly blow up in popularity, I always think they're being promoted by moneyed interests for whatever reason. But even if this weren't the case, I think he strikes a genuine chord with a lot of people. For one thing, he's physically huge, pro bodybuilder size, and that's a refreshing change from most influencers these days. I mean, if you're going to use all manner of drugs, you may as well be swole, not just look like an underwear model, right? And for another thing, he doesn't spam all sorts of silly, gimmicky content. He just comes across as a regular, likable guy going through his training routine, stuff like that. So, maybe it's a genuine, organic growth of his social media. I don't know. Now, if you like the guy and you find him interesting, nothing wrong with that. But hopefully everyone knows not to copy his diet and training routine. Unless you're on the compounds he is on, and it's pretty clear that he's really going hell for leather to bulk himself up and using multiple grams of compounds. Unless you were doing that too, his diet would make you fat and unhealthy. And it probably would anyway, it's just not very good. I mean, you can say it works for him. Well, so far it does. Also, his training is not very good. Now, this may work for him because even at his young age, he's a seasoned lifter, and when you're that big and strong, and then the point of difference becomes the drugs you're using and your genetics, particularly your genetic reaction to the drugs. So that being the case, pretty much any semi-plausible weights routine would work, and the trick would be to stimulate the muscle as much as possible without getting injured. So therefore, using machines, going through a partial range of motion where you're going to stimulate the muscle but not tear your tendons or anything like that, well, that works for people that size, pro bodybuilders, and people like Sam. It's not optimal for you, almost certainly. So that's the lesson to take. If you want to study an interesting social media phenomenon, you'd watch Sam for that. If he ever reveals the drug regime he's on, well, you'd want to pay attention to that because it works for him. But, don't be copying his diet and training, which should be obvious anyway. See you later.